So, have you ever had that feeling of being totally lost and not having a clue what to do or where you're meant to be? Yeah. Well, I can't help with that, but I can help with navigation in Elite Dangerous. You see, as that kind lady in the first video pointed out...
So big.
Yeah, that one. The universe is a pretty big place, Commander, and if you're going to navigate it like an old pro, you will need to follow these steps. Step 1, like this video. Step 2, subscribe to the channel, Commander. And step 3, run around your living room, shouting, "It's so big! It's so big!" As that will really help, well, nothing, but it'll be funny as hell. Like Captain Jack Sparrow navigating the seas with that silly little compass, it's easy to get a bit lost and a bit confused with how to navigate in this game. One thing I will say is if you haven't already watched the first episode, then what the heck are you doing with your life? And also, stop! Go watch it. I'll wait. All sorted? Let's begin. Okay, Commander, before we begin, I'd like to add something new to the channel. In the description, you will find a link to my Discord. Join that and have a party. No, seriously, join that and upload your favourite screenshot you have taken yourself to the Elite Dangerous Pictures section in under just text, and provide details if possible about the location so people can go and find it for themselves. The picture I like the most will feature in the next video, and if there's enough interest, I will do this for each video going forward. So here is mine for this week. This is my DBX taken in the Maya system in the Pleiades Nebula by planet Maya A1. If you'd like to download this picture, you will also find this in the picture section. So, there is one panel I left out of the first video. And no, it's not because I'm getting old, but it's more the fact that I felt it was more relevant here. And that is the left panel, the navigation pane, the most used pane in the whole game. The pane that will either be a breeze for you, or the bane of your life. So, this is the first page you will see. The navigation page. It is both your travel companion, as well as the information panel for what is in the system. At the top, you have your current system. Next to that, you have your next jump on your journey, and how many jumps you have left. So you can work out, if you need to debate, what you're doing with your fucking life when you're out on a long journey. And finally, it will display your final destination. Below that, you will see your filtered navigation list. This shows you what is in the system according to the filters you have set, and they are listed in the nearest first order from you, and the distance, again, is the distance from you. You will see these symbols under location. These are purely here to confuse our little human brains. You know, unless you're that unfortunate accident I mentioned from the first video. This planetary looking thingamajig, I assume that's what they were going for, is exploration. The arrow pointing in opposite ways reflect just how you felt when you got into Elite, not sure which way to go. Or they could mean trade. The arrows with the "no" stamped on them mean you're no longer confused. Congratulations, Commander. I'm so proud of you. I knew you'd make it. Only joking. They mean smuggling. The weird boxy one is for all you mercenaries out there. Go get 'em. The targeting one is for bounty hunting, and the double sword ones are for piracy. When you click on an item in that list, you will open up this window. Here you can lock the destination to the target, lock destination and enter Supercruise if you're not in Supercruise, open up the system map, why you would do that from here is beyond me, add or remove it as a bookmark, and also any of the symbols that appear on the location part in the main screen will also appear here. You can click on them and they will bring up information on said icon. On the left here you will see your filters section. This is pretty much a set and forget sort of thing. Pick the stuff you want to see and ditch the stuff you don't. I'd recommend turning off asteroid clusters as they're useless and you'll never navigate to them anyway. Then I turn off fleet carriers unless I need to use them for whatever reason. Signal sources are something you can turn off unless you need to farm for engineering materials. And systems I just leave off. Everything else I leave on. Stars, planets and moons, landfall planets and moons, settlements, stations, and points of interest, or POI. The X below simply clears all of your filters, and if you have them all cleared, everything will display. Below that you have your galaxy map, and below that your system map. Although these are changing a little in Odyssey, the information I'm giving you here will carry over just fine. So don't worry, Commander, I got you back. Okay, so let's say you jump into a system, and you want to find a certain settlement on a certain planet. As you get closer, this should start to appear on this panel, usually around 800 to 1000 light seconds away. To navigate to it, click it on the pane, and click Lock Destination. That's it. Go there and party like it's 1999. I would say just like the people who designed this interface, but clearly this is from the 80s era. These colours. Ugh. I think I just threw up in my mouth a little. Next up, we have transactions. First page is all transactions, and the rest is where they're broken down. Missions are where any missions you've picked up are displayed, as well as how long you have to complete them. Yes, missions have a timer in this game, Commander. Passengers are here for if you're being a space bus driver, and here you can check your passenger list. Sadly, you cannot eject the naughty ones out into space, though that would be hilarious. Next is claims, your rewards for killing bad pirate people out in space, and that is where you keep a check of just how much money you've made from being a murderer. I mean, cleaning up society. They had it coming anyway. Am I right? Fines. Self-explanatory, really. This is where you find out what fines you've incurred by parking just over the lines, or on a double yellow, or whatever the equivalent is in the US. Lastly is bounties. Come here to check just how much of a naughty commander you've been, and just how much it will cost you to make good with your god again. Next page is contacts. This is not your little black book, Commander, though could you imagine a booty call in space? Sure, I'll be there in about 10,000 light years. Think I would rather just, help myself out, thanks. This is where anything around you will be displayed, from space junk, to players, to stations, etc. This is also where you come when you need to request docking permission. Click the station, and then select Request docking. Trust me, you don't want to fly into a station like, honey, I'm home, without permission first. They tend to not like that, Commander. Not that I know, anyone that's, ever done that. Honest. Then you have targets. This is only applicable when you're in combat. I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to be killing some poor space nerd NPC and then they get low and jump away. In this pane, you could target their FSD, stop it working, and then boom, collect your murder coins. Take that, space nerd. Okay, so let's go to the system map. When you first open it, it looks like this. Your mouse wheel zooms you in and out, and you left click and hold to drag the screen around. On the left, you will see 4 headers. The first one is the main system header. In here, you will get all the general information on the system, such as the control and faction, etc. Below that, you will see the map and orrery. Map displays a 2D flat map, and the orrery displays a really cool orbital plane map showing the orbital paths of everything. Below that, you will see the name of the system, and below that, the name of the local power play character. Then you will see below that the system summary, which will include the control and faction, the primary and secondary states, which I will cover shortly, as well as the overall allegiance, population, and security level. Again, I will cover that shortly. The system's overall states are directly tied to the control and faction states, and each faction within the system can have different states. First, let's discuss factions. Each populated system can have 7 minor factions, all vying for control, and this plays out very frequently in-game through states. You'll see that each minor faction also has its own states as well, but overall, you're not really going to care too much about that. There are 5 primary states of a system, and these represent its economic state. Wow, that was dry. These do become important at some point in the game. When they become important depends on how you play the game, but you'll likely use these states for farming materials and things. Other than that, you're never going to care. Okay, so let's quickly discuss the 5 economic states, and this will be quick. You have investment, boom, none, bust, and famine. These are pretty self-explanatory. However, when a system is in a boom state, that is when it's best to do trade missions within that system. Now, you do also have secondary states, and these relate to the growth of the system's control and faction at the time, and there are 7 secondary states to be aware of. I will cover these very, very quickly, and not go into any detail really at all. You have expansion, retreat, outbreak, civil war, elections, war, and exiled. Again, you only really need to care about this when you actually need to use it for material farming or anything like that. Okay, stay with me, Commander. I know the subject is drier than the surface of Mars, but it is valuable information, trust me. We will very quickly cover the security states, and then we can move on. If you want me to cover all of the states more in depth and break them all down properly, if you really hate your life that much, then let me know in the comments below, and after I've finished crying myself to sleep, I will add it to my list. So, the security states are as follows. Civil liberty, none, civil unrest, and lockdown. Again, you will rarely need to care about this, but just be aware that they're there, and the fact that they're a thing. Thank God that bit is done. Next up, we go back to the top and to the 4 bars icon. This is where you will see information about what you've selected in the system, i.e. a planet or a moon. This page is very useful to find out if that landable planet you've selected has any materials on there that you want to go and gather for engineering purposes. Planets or moons with a blue circle around them are landable, and if they have blue bars coming off, then it means there's a base on there as well. It will also display a full list of all materials on the surface, including their drop chance percentage. It also displays some really cool stats on the planet like temperature in Kelvin, gravitational pull of the planet, as well as a whole host of other space nerd stats that may take your fancy if you're into that sort of thing. Please note that other nerds are available as well. Subject to terms and conditions, please check www.spacenerd.com for details. One tip for this page is about fleet carriers. You will see them dotted around, and you can land on them if the player allows it. This pane will show you the facilities available, as well as the trade data. The really useful part is at the bottom. It will tell you A, if you can land there or not, or if it's for friends only. B, if there is a tariff applied for using it, because some players will try and apply that. And C, if you can land there after being a naughty little commander, and are now notorious. Then we have the local system bookmarks, which will display the bookmarks that you have created for that system. And finally, the last icon is everything in the system sorted into a nice little list format for you to navigate should you wish. Okay, so as I've already said, you can zoom in and out with your mouse scroll wheel. If you select a landable planet or moon, you can zoom right in and either look at the planet to see if there are any surface bases on there and select them for navigation, or just look at the planet in general. Quite a cool little feature, huh? The buttons for this are displayed at the bottom of the map, and that pretty much sums up the system map. More often than not, you will only use this to see if there's anything of interest to explore when you're out on your journey, or to click on your destination for navigation. Okay, galaxy map. The big boy is up next. So, when you open the galaxy map, you will see icons at the top again. The 4 bars are your current location information. It displays the name of the system, and if you have any ships stored within a station, they will appear just below. Then you'll be given a quick summary of the system at the bottom. Back at the top, we have the 3 balls linked icon. That is your search area. And at the top, you have a search bar. The location of this is changing in Odyssey, but the information I'm giving you here will still be relevant. In this area, you will have to type or paste in the name of the system you're searching for. But in Odyssey, this will have an autocomplete feature to make it much easier. Below that, you have your route information, which is your current location and your selected location. And below that is your jump data. Just set this to fastest routes instead of economical routes, and what this will do is reduce the amount of system jumps you will have to do to get to your destination. The used jet cone boost comes in if you're going to be boosting your jump drive using a neutron star, which I will cover in another video at some point. But what they do basically, other than looking fucking awesome, is increase your jump range by 4 times the distance. This is handy if you want to go great distances with the least amount of time, and it is also what's called using the neutron highway. FSD boost is for if you have used a synthesized boost from the synthesis menu I showed you in episode 1, again to increase your jump distance. This can be done in addition to a neutron fueled jump, but you're not likely to do this much at the level this guide is aimed at. Cargo mass is where you can annotate your current cargo amount to adjust your route accordingly, but the easy way to do it is to simply clear your route by plotting a route to somewhere else and then plotting a route back again to your original destination, and the game will adjust this for you, which makes it kind of pointless. Are you seeing a theme here, Frontier? Next up, we have bookmarks. These are just like the bookmarks in your web browser, so use these to store locations you travel to frequently or somewhere you'd like to go and see at some point in the future. To travel to a bookmark, simply click it and click Plot Route. Done. Bookmarks can also be renamed, and a good tip for most frequent used ones is to rename it, but put a star at the front. Leave the name as it was, and it will go straight to the top of the list. Okay, then we have map view configuration, and a very handy part here, Commander, so please pay attention. Realistic changes the map to be a more realistic look, and Power Play shows you the different territories of the Power Play characters. This is also what is referred to as the bubble, a phrase you will hear a lot. All the bubble is occupied space. At the top, where we have realistic, map, and power play, pick map. Then under that, you will see a drop-down menu. Choose star class, and then uncheck all the stars from L or Lima and below, but keep apply filter to route checked. This will now ensure that you mostly jump to systems that have fuel scoopable stars on your journey, so you will never run out of fuel and have to call the fuel rats. And again, you will think to yourself, Dave, what a lovely commander he was. I'm glad I liked his video and subscribed to his channel. This drop-down menu allows you to apply filters to the map as well, to see things like services, allegiance, economy, and state. This could be really handy when you're looking for certain materials, or say, Federation-only systems for that rank grind to get the Federal Corvette. Now, if you've made it this far, Commander, now you get the really good tip. Where this part comes in really handy is for explorers. You can filter whether or not you've ever visited a system before. This comes in really handy if you want new sites only, or don't want to repeat the sites you've already seen. But here's the really, really cool part. Because so many commanders never ever leave the bubble or the surrounding area, leaving over 99% of this game unexplored. As you get further out, you will be sure to come across systems that no living player ever has jumped into before. Scan it and scan any planets, and your name will be permanently attached to that system for as long as the game lives, and any planets you find. How cool is that? Even my wife found that cool, and she doesn't even play games. You're welcome, Commander. Below that, you will also get information on the trending trade routes for the last 24 hours, and that is what those coloured lines are on the map. But there is a far better way to do trade, which I will be covering in the money-making video. Now, when you're on this map, you can either search for a system, or you can move the map around and click on the little ball, which is the star, and then you can select it that way too if you don't know the name. You will also see the box that shows up, and it gives you a brief outline of that system, including the first person who scanned it. And a top tip here is, down at the bottom, you will see select, plot route, bookmark. Now, if you see system map, it means that you've been here before. And obviously, if system map is not showing, you've never been to that system. So, the last page on here that we're going to cover is the last icon at the top, which filters what you see on the map. In here, you will be able to show or hide certain aspects of the map, like bookmarked locations, etc. This part is up to you, Commander. Depends on how clean or how cluttered you like your maps. I like mine clean, so I have a lot of it disabled. At the top of the screen, you will see the name of your current sector, which is these sectors on the map. And at the top right, you'll see which map view you have enabled. And that is all the maps done. Hurrah! So, let's demonstrate how to travel somewhere and piece all of this together, shall we? Okay, so here we are in our ship. We're one jump away from my home system. So I'm going to open up the galaxy map, click bookmarks, select my system, and click plot route. That's that bit done, so now we're going to exit that. I can see that the target is behind me. By the top left of the radar, you see the hollow dot. I turn around until it becomes a filled in dot. We'll line it with the center of the target. And I start to charge my FSD. I'm going to speed this bit of the footage up. If only it was that quick. So I happen to know that the station I'm going to is behind me when I jump in. If you don't know where you're going, just pull yourself to a stop and then have a search around before you actually try and go wherever it is you try to get to. Open up the left pane, and then under the filters, I will see Ray Gateway. I can see it's 577 light seconds away. I lock destination. I line myself up again, and then I start to fly. Again, this footage will be sped up, so you don't need to sit through all of this. And then now I'm just about to come out of Super Cruise here, so you'll see that I disengage when I get to 1 megamile. And then align myself away from the station so I don't crash into it accidentally should something go wrong. Wait till 7.5 kilometers, open the left pin, go to contacts, click the station, and request docking. If you have an advanced docking computer, slow yourself down to 0 and the computer will take over and it'll take you into land. If you're a new commander, I thoroughly recommend this. As an experienced commander, you probably don't need it anymore. You can see I overshoot the letterbox. I go in, I don't know where my landing pad is, so I take myself away from the letterbox so I don't get crashed into and get fined. And then find my landing pad, and then I come into land. That's it. That is how you navigate in Elite Dangerous, and that's how you piece it all together. So I hope that was actually useful for you. Well, that is it. There you go, Commander. That's how you navigate in Elite Dangerous. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll be back in a few days with the next one, which will be episode 3, Modules. So until then, stay elite and stay dangerous.